I'm on the daily charts of the. I got gold up here in the upper left-hand corner. Here's the Dow. Here is the Euro, and here is the S&P 500. So the Dow and the S&P 500 are about to break out, and I'm looking for just a panic. Head for the exits. It's Thursday, and you got 45 minutes of stock market trading left. So if they can clip these people's buy stops, grab them and rip them back, trap these bulls here, that'd be a good scalp. But if you're long from this double bottom, I guess presupposing you didn't get stopped out on this wick, and that's why you always want to have a pending order at the previous doji right here. You would have got filled on that limit, and your window of risk is only this big. You're basing your window of risk on, if you want to go aggressive, you're going to take this wick into account, at least for your stop. And maybe you just had a whole bank of orders, just a whole plethora in there. Say you had a buy limit here that never got filled, but on the edge here was pretty good money, right? And if you bailed here, I mean, in the world of how you're supposed to trade, right, you would have bailed on something on that. Gotta get my drawing tool out here. Otherwise, it takes a little while to load that. Okay, see, here's the thing. You would have bailed here if you would have bought. So you would have got out here. Had you placed a buy limit here, you would have had a take profit there just built in your stops here. So that was probably the best kind of set it and forget it trade entry. Of course, any retest of these triangles is ripe for the pick. It's just like a retest of this if we ever come back here. But getting out of something here, let the rest ride, and this is where the auction thing comes in, is that when they took out that low there, that was the weak hand stop. Always want to buy his stop from him for free. Well, not for free, for the risk of that punishing. But this is the smashback that people, you got to realize that's the entry. Here, it may be a trap. Now, this is going to be interesting. The clock's running. Now, if gold, you see the S&P 500 takes out these highs. Gold could smash through. These are $5 handles here in gold, and that's just how it is, right? You just pick which instrument you want to ride, and this one here is the one you're going to want to bail on right away, because as soon as that thing breaks out, the sellers are going to come in like crazy. But I wonder how far we run. If you look at the weekly, you're actually coming into this wick. You've already broken out the wick from many weeks ago. So already people are going long, right? And these trades take forever. If you notice the euro, 4 days down, maybe 1 day up, or 3 days down, I'll retrace into this wick. So this is my exit. First conservative exit is the wick. The tip of the daily wick, which would be on a tick chart, there'd be on a 5-minute chart, there's a double bottom at that wick. You got to believe there's a double or a triple bottom on, maybe a double bottom on a 15-minute if you're lucky, right in that wick. And that's it. Okay, here comes the moment of truth again. Can we take out we took out from many weeks ago. So you took out this, now the monthly, you gotta be afraid to be selling this here. You gotta be scared out of your mind. So see how the entries here look like this. Your limit order needs to be sitting at this closing low. Look at all those tagging bags. Now, that whole window from the body of this doji, which is a triangle, a major triangle. Anytime you see a doji, it's a triangle, like right now. So you could pause here, and you go drifting north, right? Of course, everybody's going to sell at this trend line. This is the monthly. Triple top on the clock, and you could copy that, hang it off of here. This is where all the bears think it's going to go again. Okay, so here's the closing window here. We got 40 minutes left now. If you go back to reality, which is just the daily, looking for this to pop above here. But they actually I've seen it sell off here like crazy, right? So anything could happen. Sellers could come in here like you can't even believe. Because it is resistance. And here, if you had a trend line on the treetops, which this is why you'd want to already consider this to be the trends going up because it broke on close. If you're waiting for a break on these wicks, you got in here, right? So it's like a volatility breakout. Anytime you include these wicks, you're talking volatility. So yeah, if you're really going to draw on the wicks, you're actually looking at this kind of situation. Can we go and take that trend line out? That's how close you want to get in the market. Otherwise, yeah, place your pennies out there like miles away and wait to get filled. And then you're going to wait for this scenario to go up and down. Like here, for me, it would be sell limits. If you project off the Dow here and really wanted to sell this thing, you're looking for a failure swing of, but you already took out this. See, this is a big problem. That thing's screaming. So the other place to sell would be, you're right there right now. So it's got to happen. You don't have another, here's the only other choice is to hang one here, but see, you're breaking that out. You're crushing through that now. So that's a problem for the bears. They're not getting the, this is supposed to, and then if you have the most generous projections, even here, you just keep crushing. I can't even imagine where you'd hang another line in here. Here's an internal pivot. There's a top become bottom. So that matches to this one. But yeah, this has got to pop up, trap all these guys. Everybody's like all excited. I do think it's eventually going to end up at that last known low, but there's a low back here that's certainly going to be the target for all the bulls. They're going to bail there. But yeah, this has got that look, and I guess your trend, this is the failed rally here that a lot of people cashed in on. Quadruple bottom, bam. See, now you could have just traded like that triangle there, that doji. You could have just bracketed that before it crushed in. So you're using these trend lines as confirmation to hold the trade, not to enter here. Like, you don't want to enter here on this wick because you're going to get killed. You know, if you have to have your stop here, better to just sell with a stop here and maybe a market and a stop. So if it starts to crush down, you're already in profits. Now here comes the latecomers, and you want to bail. Anytime you get to see a doji, you got to bail. You can always re-enter. If it's a really good trade, you should be able to re-enter back into the storm. So you want to take money off the table, definitely, especially if you got in here for that smash to here with your stop there. Like, yeah, I'm getting out. You could have reloaded, I guess, on this wick here. You got to run trailing buy limits behind this market to really take advantage. Okay, so they're selling the euro now. We go back to the waiting for the end of the session on the euro. On the stock market here. So look at, they're trying to get it up there. Same with the euro. They trapped the bulls here on the euro, that wick. So a lot of scalpers jumped in here. Pull it back. If it's a real breakout, it should go up. You know, real breakouts keep going. Very few real breakouts in these markets, though, unfortunately. A lot of fake outs. A lot of traps. People get excited. Of course, this has been going down. This double doji here. And this failure to take out the doji today. Looks like we could drift up tonight. Back into these wicks. So I'm barely in this thing. I guess you always want to be in a lot when it makes a big move. I guess if I was trading the Dow Jones, for God's sake, this double bottom, and I guarantee you on the RSI, this is a reversal. So you put about a 3-period RSI in here. Insert indicators. Go to RSI. This is like a kind of a, people oscillators get a bad rap, but if you set this relative strength to 3, you can see the signal here. You're looking for an inversion of the let's see if I get this right. I need more palette there. Yeah, it looks to me like I got the right size draw rater. See, this price here compared to this price is the signal in RSI. That lets you know to load the wagon. Of course, you can't really say that because unless you did your right order, unless you placed the right style of orders, they stopped you out. So you can't just buy here and say, oh yeah, look at it is an amazing signal. It doesn't get any better than that. And that here was the see, no divergence in RSI on this top total confluence. Let's see now. Here's divergence. So here's how people get clobbered too: is they sell divergence. The first divergence in RSI here. The failure of that divergence, and you're coming back to here. Probably more oversold here than I don't know how much further you can go oversold there, but okay. So we're waiting for this thing to do its big move up. Finish off the week here, and actually, if you draw a trend line on RSI here too, you can trade ahead of the market a little bit. If you break this trend line here, this is another confirmation to hold that trade as you go into the overbought situation. Here's an early bird entry if you like to get in early before everybody's already figured it out. You put a trend line in 3-period RSI right there. Boom. You're going to be getting in here. So it's like if you treat this like price, which is why I came up with the idea of the 1-period moving average. Yes, it is the ultimate, because that's what RSI is. It's on close. So you didn't get a pullback here, but if you wanted to trade a breakout of this line, it would look like as you're breaking out here, a very faint trend line there. A little divergence actually that failed. So you notice this. It's pretty subtle, but you see right here, this is a slight bit of divergence off these two tops. Then this pullback doesn't pull back too much, but here you get the triangle. So more harder Elliott wave 4 on here. Let's put the pullback wave. Let's see here. This would be a signal, slightly more oversold, and if you look at the price comparison here, these guys, this is how you establish that trend line. So when that trend line breaks, it's a big problem. Never got divergence for that sell-off. Just really didn't get it. I guess this is divergence or something, because the price went down here, it looks like. But if you drill in hard, you just want to be on this train before it leaves the station. Okay, I'm looking for that big psycho door slam. Okay, you got 2 minutes to the bottom of the hour. Here comes the half-hour robots now. So you'll see a whole different change of tone here. If they can't keep it down, you can't keep a good man down, is what they say. But if they can't keep this thing to the floor, it's just going to break that RSI and the daily, and boom. I'm going to fill this big vapor lock up here. So as they nudge up, and the people that are selling, I'm sure there's people selling that. Like, I got divergence. Look at, so as divergence fails, actually a lot of people will probably take profits when RSI hits that that downtrend there. Let me take up all these lines, start over. Yeah, 3-period RSI. This is for the impatient trader only, and works like a gem. Super ridiculous sensitive 3-period. I guess you could smooth it out, but why ruin a good thing, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, people. Trends are terrible. I don't have the patience for this stuff, honestly. I like that wick though. I just want to enter this this wick on this hammer. The whole trade's over. Boom, done. See you, bye. That's the trade. I mean, who wants to be in these markets? What are you nuts? Look at this doji. Had you just bracketed this thing with a very low risk order, can you imagine? I mean, the Dow Jones definitely gives you that great candlestick pattern. You just bracket this thing. I guess your stop's here, so you're risking this to make this. And if you held through it, my God, I mean, it went another entry here. So you're only getting in on these guys. Forget this big bull. Actually, if you're on the 1 hour chart and you see a big candle like that, you want to drop a whole bunch of limits behind because you're probably going to retest. So just enter on that retest and already be up on the trade. You can still dump with profits, you know. Now, if you're long through this thing, it is brutal to watch this wick happen, but if you held through it, I'll just get in the hell. I'm just getting in and out. Like if I'm in front of the machine, I'm just getting out. Like if you're already up, like on this trade, maybe just get out because forget it. It's going to pull back, especially in the daily here. Really, all it really was doing was going after this. So they just wanted to grab that order and pull it back. I guess there's no correlation to that wick. There's no doji really to put your order on there. So there's really not. You have to wait for those quiet days. Wait for that aha moment where everybody bails and goes the other way. Okay, so 2 minutes after the bottom of the hour now, we're waiting for the last stampede of the half-hour chart. Half-hour time frame here. This actually trades, I think, all night long. So, yeah, I guess Santa Claus is coming back to town here for these stock traders. They're loving it. Big retrace. This would be the last gust of wind, and maybe drifts up tonight. The euro dollar against the dollar. I mean, the dollar's had it. I see the Canadian melting again. Like bad. Okay. Here's that big moment of truth now. See if we can break this trend line. And gold could smack through this. So another reason why you want to put the moving average on top of these is because you can see this line of close cut into that. All right, so this should be it. I'm expecting a rally here on the smaller time frame. Just can't seem to hold this thing back. This is a slow retrace. I mean, I really don't have the patience for that either. I mean, you know, you can see it coming. Like when something's down like too far, isn't everybody going, huh? This looks like it's going to like bounce. So the bounce never happens as fast as I want it to. This pisses me off. I mean, what is with these markets, man? Why do these people run the price up and down like this? Like, it's totally manipulated, right? But I mean, it's like, you know, the market just goes on a tear. It just starts cutting water viciously. It just keeps going in one direction. So the doji at least keeps you out of some amount of trouble. Like, even if you bracketed this inverted hammer here with a buy stop and a buy limit, just get really narrow here. If you consider your stop is at the bottom of that inverted hammer, my God, that's low risk trading. Same thing on a hanging man. Like, if you have a hanging man like this, you can get in right on the clock there. But you would have to get in here with a stop. Of course, you didn't know that wick existed, so that wouldn't do any good. But you could put, if you just have a hard 20 pip stop on stuff, for God's sakes, right? That would be the ticket. You just hard stop and everything's... Okay, this is another boring moment in trading history, but that's how it is. It's boring. There was a little bit of franticness here. This news never took out the low from yesterday. So this is still... Now, you could say this is still in a downtrend. You could say this is still, I guess, in an uptrend. This guy's in an uptrend. This guy's trying to be a breakout hero. Yeah, poor gold. They beat the hell out of those poor gold people. Man, they just mopped the floor with them. They 1,800 down to 1,000. Only $800 swing on that gold trade. How was that? How'd you like that? So the people that were long at 1,500, I wonder if they'll be selling at 1,500 and just get out and go buy a new car. I'll be like that. I missed that bullet. Jeez. Sometimes I watch these markets so much. I think that the market closed or my data feed went down and all the tick charts just come to a screeching halt for a couple seconds, like right now, and then boom. So we're still babysitting this drift. So earlier today there was some psychosis. There was some psychosis yesterday in the euro. On the 1 hour chart, there was some great entries here. Here was a smash back wick entry. Another one today. There was the this candle right here, that 1 hour hammer. Seriously, the entry of the day. Now, this is one where I put buy stops as it was dropping, and I also had a limit. So I tried to get the most. Wanted the market to come into this envelope that I built it out of limits, and I built it with buy stops, just punching the button. So I love to hit the button as it's dropping, and with a buy stop scalp, but I've had to make a wider allowances for the market may only bounce 5 pips. So I had to put buy stop kind of style guys in there. But on the limits, if you placed a hand placed or you'd had a button you could press that would drop it, say, a specific amount deep, so you end up getting in at this doji. If you have your buy limit there, we retested, that was the entry. You could have had a stop here, 20 pip stop. But you made all those pips, right? And then they trapped these guys, and then they pulled it back. So yesterday was a pure auction trade where it went unfair value, then it went back to fair value, then went unfair on this side, and then it came back to fair. So it took the whole round trip tick, right? So fair value's always been right there. This was the mind-blowing entry for today, and we could come back to here again. Pick up some more, and then we go, I guess we, eventually I think we're going up. This is what I'm betting on. So we're just bobbing around this. On the 1 hour right now, we're just trolling, right? This is a Fibonacci indicator built on a 15 minutes. I can put this in the link to this video. This is I customized it, but this is actually a floor pivot built on Fibonacci. So this is the 1618. This is 2618, and this is the 0.382, and the pivot is just 0. So every 15 minutes, this thing's going to update, I think. So this is a slow drift out of the hole, and waiting for the end of the market here, the big closer. But I would put my buy limits at these yellows and my sell limits on those yellows, and wait for the market to get quiet. This will actually change width on the closing prices. It's going to update every 15 minutes. So it should change. It's in about 5 minutes here, 6 minutes. It's going to change the size the amount of volatility on that. But you could build all the fib handles all the way out to 4618. Or you could just put in your own horizontal lines manually and leave them, set it and forget it. You want to buy here. You're always going to want to sell highs, so the only high spot here would be double bottom on the 4-hour euro up here. Sell it way up there. But we may take a while to get there. I'd rather buy on this pivot. Put a buy limit here right now. So if it calms down tonight, we get back into fair value. Yeah, it's gonna. But these things take forever to turn around. Forever. Up and down, then finally up, right? And here's your first trend line, bullish trend line you can draw. We could come back to this tonight. This would not be unusual. This would make a perfect setup, at least in terms of, I guess, pulls back into that. You probably have to go for, if it pulls back super deep, it would have to look like this. To use this as some type of cradle for this thing to drop into, and then it goes smashing up, or it just doesn't. It just at the end of this time frame here, we close here and then we go up. But so far, it's all about the pullback, I guess. That's the 4-hour pulling back. If you look at the 1 hour, it's all choppy. It's just a big choppy mess. Looks very noisy compared to that. So we could still go down. Here we go. Again. Boom. Down again. And then the trend line to break is this one. Most recent. So you want to be right up on the edge of the market. You want to pick a position right now. Buy or sell right now. You got to pick it. Is it worth it to? Should I put my pending buy limit wait to get filled, or do I buy at the market right now? Well, if you buy at the market right now, just wait for the end of the hour. I mean, that's the only choice you have. If you buy right now, unless you're super bullish, you're like, oh my God, it's going up. Like when you see them come back to a certain price, you can see it coming. I have to take it all the way down. This is a 20 pip wick. Then smash it up. All the way down again today. So you have all your buy limits beyond the wicks. And you could project your entries. Of course, you never got filled on that. There's no retest to that internal line. Here was a triple bottom that was the only kind of projected retest entry. Okay, looks like a major pullback. Big sell-off coming in the euro now. So I'm going to put buy limits in for the pullback. And if it comes down real hard, I put buy stops. And so if you have your buy limit sitting right at this fib, this is the 1.618. So we'll get an update coming in here in about 2 minutes. This whole thing's going to change. So say you put your order right there. You would have to tighten it up or delete it or something. Start over. Okay, so waiting for the big pullback. So definitely trap the bulls there. Got to come back and stop them out before you go up. All the scalpers in there. Wait for them to have their fun. So here's where they could make a big wick right now, stop everybody out, and then it goes up. So that's what really can be frustrating. People want to get on the ride, and so this is the problem. That if you bought this breakout here, you're all pissed off. See, because like if you put your buy stop there, they fill you and pull it back like that. That's not right. That's really inappropriate. So you don't feel good about that. Of course, I'm waiting for the, I guess at 4 p.m. this 4-hour chart's going to, or 5 p.m. this 4-hour chart's going to update. So if it does rest there, okay, so I guess here's the big debate. Do we go up or down at the end of the thing here? Okay. So right at got a double bottom on the hourly, and we got to come back into this right now, because this is your only internal trend line. If you come like this, you maybe get support there. Yeah, so here you go, 1 minute. So we should have a new chart. The 618, 2618 is the bottom here. 4-hour euro. We got this fib coming in here, 2618 right there. So you get some great fib levels on that. It keeps updating with it. It rides along. You could have put random lines in there too, because I'm sure that you would get hits. But right now you're getting all the closing pivots. You get like a nice double bottom here. There's another window. But it's about a 10 pip window on there, I think. So you can see how tight a stop you would run. But just keep moving your orders. That's the only thing. You got to keep moving the orders, and it's ridiculous. I mean, the market goes sideways forever, right? If you're in a trend trade and it starts to go sideways, Christ. I mean, I think it's so pissed off. I just get out. That just turn me into a scalper real quick. I have patience for this stuff. Up and down, up and I mean, if you're going to make any kind of money, you have to be in big enough to make a lot of money. So how are you going to trade with a lot of money when, if you bought this bottom here, I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, that's like 50 pips of just insanity. All week long on this puppy. So if this is the roll, this is the euro dollar just getting chopped to death, and here it would be the shoulder, the head shoulder, that wick smash in. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to get the rally here, but let's see. Oh, so they broke out the Dow Jones and missed it. So Dow Jones just made a new higher high. So big scramble here. S&P just broke out, and gold would be the laggard, and then we look for this guy to follow through and take out. Since the entry here would have been your long, and you're slightly up on this trade because you got in at that doji. Okay, I got carried away there. See, I missed this. Now, this would be the place where they start trapping the bulls there. So we get a frantic move, and then it's over. 4 o'clock comes, and I don't know, always pullbacks probably coming tonight in these things for a scalp bounce at least. And hopefully there's a big panic to the north here for the bulls on the close, and then they just smash out. 12 minutes, everybody goes home. So there's a big countdown. I'm afraid to put my Mickey Mouse clock up because I got this letter from YouTube telling me that I was going to have to go to jail. Mickey Mouse is going to take me to jail because I had a Mickey Mouse clock. Like, who hasn't seen that? I thought that was already the public domain by now. Poor Mickey. He didn't know he'd be going to court. So look at this thing. Look at them scream. Look at it crush all the bears' dreams. They were sleeping. They were hibernating and dreaming about all the money, the end of the world's coming. Sorry, it's not. I hate to bum you out. Don't think I don't want it to come. Like, when I'm depressed, I'm like, yeah, let the stock market crash. But I don't know. Where's the money going to go? Life goes on. I mean, if gold goes up, stock market's got to go up because everything sinks sometimes. You know, when the dollar's going up, sometimes the stock market's going up. So anything's possible. Okay, 10 minutes, guys, are on it now. Here comes the last 10 minutes. Get some crazy moves now. Big panic moves now. Should get a bit crazy here. Okay, so it really comes down how often you want to trade. You know, your rate on return on investment. Some guy asked me. It all depends. I mean, you just have to figure out how big you want to trade and how much you want to risk. Anybody can make money trading. Gobs of money. You just have to wait. If you're good at waiting, you'll make more money. If you're impatient, you just better be trading really close to the market and just get in and out. Just get in and out. You know. I can't imagine trying to hold these things. It's really ridiculous, especially when you're really up on a trade. I mean, for God's sakes, you know. Typically, the way I look at it is, if you all you do is trade all day, you just get in and out of the market. I mean, it should be pretty fluid. Now, there's times when you can look at the daily. If you're scalping on the hourly and you have the daily in the rearview mirror, you're looking at that daily and you're just going, this thing's going to go up. But not today. I mean, you can see it coming. You're like, we just went down 8 days. I mean, that's why they say beginner's luck, because anybody that's seen a market, like, they're thinking, oh man, look, it can't go down forever, right? So they just keep buying into that and scale into it, and then it's swing. I guess they call it swing trading, right? And then like 5 days later, they're up on the trade. They're like, wow, damn. Now, if you're on a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart, and you see that, yeah, trade's over, done. But you have to be in kind of big there, and for a very short period of time, which seems awkward, because if you're in kind of big for a longer period of time, you feel like an investor. Because when the guy said return on investment, it's a weird phrase to use for trading, because pretty much it's almost like return on unused margin. Like, in other words, if you can bank some money in the account, forget pips, because pips don't matter. It's how much money did you make. Like, these guys are bragging about 200 pips. I'm like, okay, with a 50 pips stop, 200 pips, who cares, right? You have a 50 pip stop on that. If you're in one position, you're risking $500 or $5,000. What are you, nuts? A 50 pip stop, that's as tight a stop as you could really find. Are you serious? That's crazy. Okay, 7 minutes left. That's nuts, right? I don't know where these guys are coming from. They must have pockets deeper than, I don't know, the ocean, right? I guess they do. The thing is, what cracks me up, and I can't resist harping on these people, is like, don't people figure out that if their cars cost $5,000 and they're showing you 20 currency pairs, and I mean, just because of the entertainment factor of looking at New Zealand against CAD, but are you really going to get in that trade? I mean, who's got the time? I don't know. You need a staff of people. Like I say, you need somebody that's going to trade. Like, I would have somebody trade a currency pair. I'd say, here, go trade this bizarre pair for me. I couldn't do it. It's been like watching sausage being made, and then somebody offers you a hot dog, and you're like, I'll pass. I mean, obviously, it's such a personal thing. Trading has to fit your personality. So if you're not the kind of person that can handle a flash crash, spike move, boom, you're out in 20 seconds, then you do the same trade on a monthly, and you see the market coming down on the you can see it coming down, and you're like, oh yeah, it's coming into a window, and you don't necessarily have to jump out in front of that. Of course, it's fun to do on a 15-minute chart, if the market just went roaring down and you're like, oh yeah, that's just coming into my... If you had a pending order there to get in, and so as they're coming towards your pending, you're putting in buy stops above in case it's going to be a quick bounce as opposed to a where it just drips down into this buy limit, which is a sweet spot entry, of course, right? That's why nobody makes money who's impatient, because they can't wait for that limit to get filled. So you buy into it. Just like here, if you were going to sell the S&P right now or the Dow, and you got sell limits up there, you're like, okay, maybe sell stops as it's smashing up there, but you almost got to figure it's going to be, people are going to be selling that, and they got their stops up there. So where their stops are is going to be your sell limit. And we're looking for this S&P to really kind of, looks like it's more frisky. And then gold could drift through tonight, and we could get gold make a big breakout, follow through with all this stuff. I mean, we're going to need gold, right? If people are going to start actually doing stuff again, I mean, for God's sakes, man. I got a storm out here. You know, stuff's really going to, the wheels are going to come off. Anyways, still waiting for this event. Getting really tentative here. You got 4 minutes left. So I don't know what kind of spiky action. We're probably going to get a big spike here. But I'm sure people will be selling on close there. Major breakout, certainly killing anybody that put a stop on that last wick a few days back. But that just became a buy order, which is making it go up right now. So it's pretty lughead stuff. I guess the laggard here is the euro and gold. Gold and the euro still in a doji mode, waiting for, you know, they're waiting for the green light. So once the volatility picks up here, you know, all these low volatility entries is what you're looking for, is the triangle entry there on gold. So that's the triangle at the edge of a giant triangle. So there's two patterns overlaid there. You don't have to go to the other time frame. You don't need to go look for the triangle in the hourly, because you know the doji is a triangle inside this other wedge. So that should be the low risk fractal entry. If you're going to even trade the building of that triangle, you know, you can always be range trading the construction of that thing, because you had that one doji here. So if you bracketed that, you'd ride it back down. And it's like kind of like the revolving door is a doji. And yeah, so see if they can, okay, they make a new highs here all the way to the next 3 minutes. It looks like they could spike this Dow here. And the euro looks like it could still keep tanking. I don't know if that's tied to anything. I guess the two stock markets obviously agree. So maybe these guys back off, and then the euro and gold come back up. So it's kind of a yin and yang. I've actually never watched the close of this, but I guess you can make assumptions here. There's a triangle there with a big wick, and that was the triangle inverted hammer with this hammer on the euro, and maybe these guys move opposite at the end here. But it's the end of the week, you know. Everything's going to update, I suppose. Always quiet at the end of the day here. A lot of stuff. Especially when you're going up here like this. They're just killing people that are trying to sell that. Those gobble up their stops. Or people are buying into that. I wouldn't be buying. I mean, I'd be moving my stop on that thing. So looking for a wick here on the end. The close. Get that thing to 1 minute left here. Close of that. I guess it closes at 5 p.m. I'm just looking for that thing to punch up and make a wick. Yeah, there you go. 30 seconds. Yeah, they'll just push that right now. So there's your first wick for a second there. And I got 20 seconds left. You could get a big smash to the north now. People getting out on the close. Okay, so I want to buy on limits, and there you go. Boom. 5 seconds. A lot of orders coming in there. I see if you can follow through here. They just closed the cash market, I suppose, or they still trade S&P till after 4 p.m. But a lot of robots trade right on the clock. So who knows? There you go. Follow through. So you still got, if you go to the 1 hour chart, big bull candle. Now you put in buy limits for the pullback. I wouldn't chase that thing. Let's go to the 1 hour here. You can see how choppy these markets really are. Look at this garbage. A big humming and hawing going on there. See the fib coming in there on close, not on the wick, on close. That's how you draw Fibonacci on close, not on the wicks. Works better, right? Look at it, nails it. Perfect fit. So you want to buy at the of course I set it to 15 minutes. But actually it bounces off the round handles. I could just show you that it's a better fit to just 10 pips. There's a retest at the 10 pip. So it's a little illusionary. This is nothing but the 10 pip handle. The fib happens to fit it, but it's sadly just nothing but the damn, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Trading's pretty raw, pretty stupid. That's why intelligent people lose money at it. Overthink this stuff. There we go. Looking to take out this breakout up here. Look at that thing, right to the 10 pip. Never made it. Okay, we come smashing down here now. Gold's got a chance for the big. See, a lot of people sold there, so the buy limits come in. If you're still bullish, you're gonna go like this and put your buy limit on top of that, and your buy limit on this if this crushes down into that. But they do like to sell up there. This one I put buy limits backed up to the last known. This top. I just set it and forgot it there. Try to get that puppy on the rebound. That's all I can think of. And here, of course, everybody's going to be selling here, but it probably won't work out because it's going to break that trend line in 1 hour. Gold's just going to go zoom, zoom, zoom to 1300. Okay. So yeah, look at these guys. They're still going up to the moon. So see how it took out this this daily trend line. I didn't take it out, but it's touching the RSI almost there, almost to that. The daily just keeps on chugging north here. It's on a mission. Look how rangy this thing is. Sideways. Okay, I'm looking for some fireworks here, people. What's going on, people? Greg Marino, okay. People. There used to be a guy on TV who had a spoof about talk shows. I can't remember the name of the show, but the guy would say, "Oh, people," because the people would always have the connotative meaning floating in their head, some naughty idea, and he's, "Oh, people." So here's the sellers are coming in here on these stock markets. They've had it. Now maybe this is when we see the euro kick up. and gold kick up. So we get an inversion here at the end on the 1 hours. But yeah, you know, when you watch this stuff all day long, you know, you can get really angry about 4 hours of chop here when it looks like we're going to go up. And the idea that these markets have to pause like this along the way is very disturbing. Like, I feel like I'm on my way somewhere. I don't know if you've ever gone with somebody, had to actually live with somebody, and they're like, oh, I think I forgot my keys. Oh, I think I forgot. They keep going back, right? And you just want to kill yourself. So, like, come on, just go. Like, but it's just hilarious how annoying it can be. And if you're bullish on the stock market, you're like, yeah, I mean, the fact that it's getting there so quick and just going chunking up like that, you just got to love it. So maybe we get a reversal here to sell the stocks and buy the euro. And gold maybe go up here. So yeah, that's I guess I could hit the we're looking to take out this trend line tonight on gold and take out this double top here, and this guy pulls back. Buying pullbacks there on the other thing. The other instrument, I guess. Yeah, that's about how it is. So I guess I could just pause this and come back, see how this thing played out. It looks like definitely you have to say this is overbought, that's overbought, this is sideways, maybe a continuation to the north, this is forming the wedge. And then just, I guess always when the market's quiet like this, you could trade with tighter stops. Certainly the party's over. So that's how you ended up. Party's over, man. So just nothing but ashtrays with cigarette butts in it here, sideways. Same thing here. No enthusiasm. Just drift back. And come back here. At 5 p.m., I want to be out of my... I want to see this thing clear the trees by 5 p.m. So I got another 55-minute wait. I better see some fireworks on this gold or this euro, or I'm out of this euro. So I've been long this thing from the low, looking for some follow through, take out. They could not take out the high from. Now this is another sad thing about Forex, is that they were able to take out yesterday's high only to trap anybody that had buy stop there. Not able to get it up here. So you're the kind of like set it and forget it scalp typically looks like this, where you put in your orders to sell up in here with a stop here. You make some decent pips, about 20 pips off that trade. I think even earlier, well, they came to here before, but then they were able to punch it finally through the top of that thing. It was certainly a very lofty... That's a better color. I don't even know. Yeah, it's just too much fun, I guess. But I don't have the patience for the indecision here. And even after the doji, there's still a big. There can just be more vicious wicks coming. So I had to space all my orders for limit order. I was bullish the bottom swing of this euro today, so everything was basically gauged to go long. Everything I loaded was long. I put in buy stops, I put in buy limits. Everything was just geared for that one direction. It's probably a terrible thing. I could have had some sell stops in for the backlash moves. We got a couple of those too. Okay, looks like they're going to try to make another attempt here to take out the high of the day, take out the high of the Tuesday's high. And this will be one of those fishbowl bottom saucer trades, but you always want to buy the bottom of the saucer. I love how these people are like, well, we got a saucer bottom. I'm like, yeah, what, did you buy the bottom of the saucer and get out on the lip? Because if you're going to buy that lip because you're like, yeah, man, that's my God, they might just take it back off that lip of the saucer and rip it all the way back. You're screwed. You're dead. You're brokenhearted. You're wounded. So, can we come back here in 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and see how much punishment the stock markets get here? And gold's going to break that trend line, and everybody's going to be like, the ads are going to go back on TV. Come buy that gold. My God, man. If you're up $250 from that, you're selling here. I'll sell it to you. I'll sell it to you all day long, because when they get to 1,500 on gold, you may go sideways for the next 10 years between 1,500 and 25. And actually, another thing is that people talk about the another stupid thing I hear is should we go on a gold? We should go on a gold standard. You are on a gold standard, stupid. Come on, you've been on a gold standard your whole life. As long as there's been gold, that's the standard. You mean go on a gold standard? I love these fundamentalists that they like isolate. They isolate history and they isolate reality. And these little cubicles, well, this is under a heading of so-and-so. I'm like, no, it's all one big life, right? I mean, it's all one big picture. And if you take something out of it's like Jenga, right? You take something out, everything goes wacko. Oh, this is offset. I got to turn off this thing. Everything goes wacko the other way. So it's just ridiculous to have these compartmentalized views of reality. It's all the same big pile of wax. There's nothing really you can isolate and then go, okay, see, because of that. Well, then you're not doing a real world test. I mean, sure, you can take rats and do things to them, but you have a set up environments that are just, you've already got a bias built into it, just the environment you tested in. So, unfortunately, those markets are just annoying. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So gold looks like it's making a run here. I'd say I'd be buying gold right now. Get in before that trend line break. Here, I don't know. I'd buy a little bit there maybe, but I'd definitely buy more on the plunge. If it comes back again to the starting gate, this hammer, I've had buy limits on these on that hammer right now. Buy a little bit at the market here. Of course, it looks like they could just spike it down here. They did one last. They haven't done a grab after this guy's stop. Usually get a. See how they kept on tricking getting the bulls all excited, making higher highs. Like that's what just kills me about when people say that. I'm like, yeah, but if you're buying that higher high, you're just like, you are so pissed off right now. Who's not? Even this one. Actually, I think they went, who knows, they went, yeah, see, another thing line chart gives you is the sequence of events here. You opened here, you went up, went probably here, and you stopped here, and people are like, oh yeah, they moved their stop there, but the problem is, okay, so, but actually sometimes these breakouts, the breakout works in the end if your stop was so deep that you never lost your position. You don't want to get kicked out of these things. That's the whole thing, right? Nobody wants to move their stop to break even, buy here, and then get trounced, and then be like, oh, leaves the station without you. And same thing on the other way. Nobody wants to be. So these kind of trades, yeah, they have to be scalps. You're only making 10, 15 pips there. For the bigger time frame people, they're looking for a break of this whole thing. And their stop's going to be down here. They're going to take this big risk. But if you can at least range trade this, buy, sell, be willing to re-enter every time you get to this support, you whatever size position you were going to trade from this big move, you can still trade the same size, just back and forth, and then load up in the same amount. At least you've padded the account with some money so that you could run this wider stop, and then it goes off, right? Now look at them follow through on this. I guess I lied, I didn't pause the tape, but look at this stock market keep going up here. I'm going to piss off every bear. Looks like gold's going to come after this trend line now. Okay, so 45 minutes. I'll come back to this drama. See where we're at. Go back to the waiting game. It's the update of the market. I guess it's been quite a bit of time. It's been about 2.5 hours here, 3 hours. Gold broke out the trend line. Gold's knocking on heaven's door. The stock markets are stalled out, and they went down for a baby chop down here. Inverted hammer. Time to put on a buy at the market or a buy stop there. They didn't quite make it down here, but they did come to the yellow line for the buy limit entry. Just a little bit of a where market comes down into the previous prices here. They just kind of fake breakout. Looking for that to pop through the top tonight and go zooming up into resistance that's about 25 to 50 pips north of here. Yep. So still got Asia open. We'll get some volatility here, but this does look like it'll eventually continue tomorrow. Stock market going up.